President Trump, who was the 45th president, is now the 47th president of the United States of America. Congratulations to Donald Trump and the Republican Party. They also have taken over the Senate. So a lot of things are going to be very, very interesting in the next 8 months. I'm going to put 8 months on it. And I say 8 months, and the biggest topic that seemed to be the biggest topic in the election, and it was determined, was the abortion, the women's rights to their own bodies. And I have an issue with that. I just want to jump into this topic to start. I have an issue with that. This my body, men don't have a right to say nothing about my body. What I do with my body's my business. And I agree. Let me first start by saying I agree 1,001% that if a woman should do what she wants with her body, she should be able to wear what she wants. She should be able to have the surgeries she wants, whatever she feels to make herself feel better about herself. A woman has the right to do that. It is her body. So to that part, I agree. However, I vehemently disagree with it being your body. This is what I the part of it I disagree with. Let me say this. The part I disagree with is when that woman become impregnated. See, and that's where it's more focused on, okay? Is if you get pregnant with a man's child, right now we're saying as a woman's society, in the women's society, is saying if I get pregnant with a man's baby, whether he wants the baby or not, it's not his decision. That's what I don't agree with. Because if you want the baby or not, you're saying it's my own personal decision if I want to have babies or not. Take a woman, for this argument, let's listen. Let's take a woman, and before I get into it, you have to be grown enough to have this conversation. If you're unable to control your emotions without feeling like kill the world, blow it up, then you should not be a part of this conversation. This conversation is for grown folks only. So going back to it, if we take a woman, this is what I disagree with. If we if you take this woman that has gotten pregnant and you have the male that says he doesn't want to have any children, but the woman says, well, it's my body, I want the baby, I'm going to keep the baby. She keeps the baby and then files child support and expects this man to be a part of this child's life because he shouldn't have put his semen in me. He shouldn't have had sex with me. It's my body. So if I get pregnant with a baby and I don't want it, I got a right to abort it. That's the argument. I have a right to abort it. So what is the man's rights to their children? What is the man's rights? If so, turn that scenario around now. Let's look at it from the other aisle. That's what I like to do here at Vibrations. I like to look at hot topics, big issues from the other side of the aisle. On this side of the aisle now, imagine that the woman doesn't want the child, the man does. The woman aborts the child, and the man has no say so. I don't think that's right. I don't agree with that. I believe if a woman gets pregnant with a man's baby, and together, yeah, it's your body. You decide what you want to do with your body. But I think it need to be rules and laws in place that if that man wants that child, you got to have that baby and give it to him. You got to have that baby and then give the baby to the father. Because if the father doesn't want the baby and you do, you're still going to keep it. You're still going to put them on child support. You're still going to get state assistance. A lot of y'all women going to go get some Section 8 from a man that told you he did not want to have this baby with you. You have this baby. Now you go to the world dogging this man, saying he's a deadbeat father. Ma'am, he didn't want the baby. He didn't want it. So if you're going to continue to have a baby and the man doesn't want the baby, then you should not be able to go down and file child support on him. You shouldn't be able to talk bad about, oh, he's a deadbeat father. See, I think it's hypocrisy across the board. And because of President elect Trump becoming president for the 47th president of the United States of America, that's a huge topic. And to me, it's simple, it's simplistic. I'm one of those guys. I have 8 children. I have 8 children. And I was in all 8 of my children's lives. I wanted all of my children. Every woman that has had a child by me knows I don't want not with abortion. Every woman knows that I've laid down with or have had a child by me. I did have an instance. I did experience a woman being pregnant by me and having an abortion. And I wanted the child. I really, really, really wanted that baby. But when she had the abortion, we don't talk about how that makes a father feel. We don't talk about the depression and the sadness we feel that a child of ours is not going to see the light of day. It's not going to be able to take its first breath of oxygen. It's not going to be able to eat food. It's not going to be able to grow up. So when men have these babies and the woman decides I'm going to, we never ask the man or pay attention to the man of how he feels, the depression he might go through because his baby, his child was aborted. So yes, women, it is your body. You have every right to do what you want with your body. However, I feel if you end up pregnant, you lose that right to have 100% control over what you do with yourself. Because the man, we have the bad end of the stick either way it goes. If we want the baby and the woman don't, she can kill it and doesn't even matter how that man feels or acts. If the man doesn't want the baby and the woman does, the man goes on child support, get called a deadbeat, and he gets drugged. So we have to look at it from that aisle and angle. And that's where I stand, man. I don't care. I really don't care. I know a lot of folks gonna get mad at me. A lot of women gonna get mad at me. I love them. You know, I'm your biggest supporter. I'm the biggest supporter to the female gender. I'm very big supporter. You're the last thing God ever created. So it's not a disregard or a dislike for women because, man, you are the last thing God created and everything, God put everything in a woman that the world needs. That's what I believe. But when we stand on the ideal of abortion and about women's body right, well, if I get pregnant, I can have an abortion. I don't care what he talking about. I don't want it, so I ain't gonna have it. So if a man says he doesn't want it and the woman does, he doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice for the woman to keep the baby, and he doesn't have a choice for the woman to get rid of the baby. That is unfair. That is hypocrisy. That is not what I support. That is not what I'm with. If you don't want to have a child, ladies, keep your legs crossed. Use protection. If you end up getting pregnant, give that man an option. If he wants, see what that man wants. See if it aligns. Before you even lay down with a man, you should see if what your morals and his morals align with each other. So in case you guys, and that's what grown people do, in case there becomes a pregnancy, we both know we're on the same page as grown people. We both know how we feel about a woman's body or you becoming pregnant with my seed. That should be a conversation you have. Would you want an abortion? Would you don't? Because women that have these babies and the man doesn't want these babies and then put them on child support and all this other crazy stuff and assassinate this man's character, that's hypocrisy. So for me, I don't stand with that. If you get a man, get pregnant by a man and he wants that baby, I don't think you should be able to abort it. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't. It seems like we're hypocrites, you know, just like the laws, state of the laws. If you riding in a car with somebody unless that person claim and he has a gun or illegal drugs or illicit things, not unless that person claims possession of those things, everybody go to jail. That's what the law does. So if a woman get pregnant, how does the man, he is on standby if he doesn't want the baby and she decides to keep it, he's going to be on child support and be ruled a deadbeat dad. But if he wants the baby and she doesn't want to keep it and she murders it, nobody cares about what the father thinks or feels. It's my body. I do it what I want to do with it. Well, you shouldn't have had sex with me, and you shouldn't have allowed. We shouldn't have got pregnant. It's we. We're pregnant. Okay, we're pregnant. So with the president-elect Donald Trump, congratulations to him again. I know that's a big topic that everybody was keying on. The regulations, the abortions, uh, the right to abortions. Now, they were just putting regulations on abortions. I think we're all misguided because the truth of the fact, they're just trying to put regulations on abortions. Folks are having abortions at 6 and 9 months. They are. Facts. It has to be regulated. If you're not going to have an abortion within a month, that baby is a baby. It's a baby once it connects to the egg. It's alive. It's alive. So for me, I don't agree with that. I agree that a man should have a say so if he gets a woman pregnant. And I think as grown people or two people in this world that are pregnant together, they should be able to sit down with one another and come to a viable decision on having that baby or not. Vibrations.